In my formative years as a child, I had two great passions. One was for the written word. The second was for human behavior. I loved to see how people interacted with each other and with different stimulus, and to understand why they did the things that they did. And, you know, as a child, you'd find me in any corner of the house, pretty much either my nose buried in a book or sitting there daydreaming, much to the chagrin of my parents, of course, in class, about how the people I knew would interact within those stories that I would read. And looking back now, there's two very painful observations that were very clear that I should have spotted out. Number one, that obviously I was a very lonely child. Number two is that I was always destined to be a marketer and an advertiser. And that's exactly what I do today. I own my own online marketing and advertisement firm. It's an amazing thing. What that really entails is that my job is to follow every single individual online, I mean millions of users around the globe, and understand how they interact with each other, how they flow through the internet, what images, words influence them in doing what they want to do, in doing things that they're passionate about. And most importantly, I understand how they shop. And that's the most important thing, especially if you're a business. What's the point? But using these sophisticated tools that I have at my disposal are so fascinating, and they really give you some really in-depth understandings of the human nature. What I essentially do is follow your digital footprint, wherever it may lead. That check-in that you had at a restaurant on Facebook, I saw that. And right after, when you decided to visit the menu on this website, I saw that too. When you decided to hover over a certain area on that menu, I knew exactly what you were looking for. As a matter of fact, after that, I know exactly which website you went to compare prices. I follow everything that you do. I know what happens, which sounds really creepy and stalkerish now that I say it out loud, but there's also an ethical responsibility that we have within that marketing field. Now, the philosophy that I have is that knowledge truly is power, and power is an amazing thing not to be shied from, but there are ethics and rules in how we wield that power. Fellow marketers sometimes happen to think it's a good idea to find that digital footprint and to follow the consumers around online and harass them, trying to sell their product. And let's face it, if you were to do that in real life, not online, you would end up in jail because that's called stalking. It's not okay, it's harassment. And so what makes it okay online? It's not. So what is the approach? What is it about your business's digital footprint that's important? And it's the acknowledgement that it even exists. Your business leaves behind a trail online, and it leaves behind a trail that your consumers will follow if you place it in the right areas. It's not trying to sell to consumers, it's adding value to the internet, and it's adding value and a voice to your company, to your cause, to whoever you are. So your business footprint, let's say, you're on Facebook. Somebody may come across a vision that you might have for your business, or even something that concerns you, a sentiment that you might have that they encounter through social media. They might, again, throughout the week, run across a blog that you wrote, and that blog might just have information that adds value to their lives, not tries to sell to them, but adds value to their lives and adds value in general to the internet. Thus begins the whole concept of weaving this crisscross pattern of footprints between you and your market. A lot of people look at this and they think to themselves, well, what this really means. This is just because the internet has changed us as people, and I think that's the most ridiculous, outlandish thing ever. The internet is not a living being. The internet is a reflection of us. The internet is a reflection of all our footprints. It's a part of who we are, and when we look at it, we can't have this nonsense, short-sighted idea that, hey, we've commercialized human beings, because the truth of the matter is we haven't commercialized human beings. What we've done is something that no other generation has ever been able to do successfully. We've been able to humanize businesses. Thank you very much.
Right. Great job, Waleed.
Thanks.
Next, we are going to have our next feature presentation with our TED video, The Death of Innovation, the End of Growth.